Now, part of it is professional development when a teacher goes to a class and needs a sub. But we had $800,000 total we spent in subs last year. When you're sick, you deserve to be at home. And you don't want to be in front of kids sick. But if you're sick every Friday and grandma's ill every Monday and the day before Thanksgiving and the day right after the Madonna concert, there's an issue. We've got to hold people accountable for that. And our goal is to reduce costs associated with staff absences. This is a big thing we're going to do. We just started it this week, a school culture survey. I believe culture is actually almost more important than anything else. And frankly, Liberty is a good place where that belief about culture and how it influences how everything else is done matters. We're going to give this culture to students, to 5th graders in elementary school. They've been there 6 years. We're going to give it to 7th and 8th graders in middle school. They've been there over a year. And we're going to give it to 10th, 11th, and 12th graders in high school. We're going to give it to every kid. We're going to give it to every teacher. And we're going to give it to every parent. They're going to answer the same questions. Here's some examples. Teachers are enthusiastic about helping all students. So the student answers, the teacher answers, and the parent answers. Isn't that going to be interesting? And I'm going to report this data, and you'll see it, because one thing I've learned about Lynchburg, everything's in the news. You guys are in the news, then I do something, and Lynchburg City Schools is in the news, and somebody else does something. I mean, it's a small enough city where you do things, and it's noticed. So you're going to get to see these results. The community expects high academic achievement. We're going to have students answer that, teachers answer that, and we'll have parents who are in the community answer that. Teachers encourage active student learning. New teachers are mentored and made to feel a part of the school community. All these different questions. Now, I've already had a few people go, teachers are enthusiastic about helping all students. I've had a parent go, how am I supposed to know that? You know, why am I even taking that survey? Well, you know what my argument might be? I mean, it's a conversation we need to have. If you know what's going on about your child, you should have a relationship with that teacher, and you should know something about whether that teacher is enthusiastic about helping your kid. And if you don't know anything about that teacher or that school, then you're not involved enough in that school. So these are just going to be kind of some of the interesting conversations. And a lot of the work, if you're looking at reform, and I know you've done KIP, maybe looked at KIP schools. I don't know who else is out here nationally, but KIP schools, one of the ideas, the parent contract, what are the expectations for parents? Parents have to play a role in, it's not just about blaming schools, public schools, private schools. It's about a community, and it's about a school working together for the child. So we're going to do this survey. It's going out. It's taken 2 weeks to do it. And our goal is to establish baseline data through survey administration this fall. We've never done it before. So what's it look like? And then obviously, what do we want to do? We want to see the culture improve. Parental involvement. You maybe have seen this. I don't know. You're probably busy doing college stuff. But we have a new Give Me 5 campaign for parental involvement. As I told you before, I think parents need to be involved. And for those of you, again, you're in reform, one of the things KIP schools has done, one of the things charter schools has done, has been more clear to parents about what the school expects of the parents. And in some of the charter schools, to be frank, what they've done is if the parent won't sign a contract or a KIP school, the kid's kicked out. Now, I don't really have that option in a public school. But I do have the ability, and I am being very clear to parents about what we expect. So here's the Give Me 5. 5 minutes of reading to your child if they're an elementary school kid, or having a conversation about school if they're a middle or a high school kid. You remember, like, maybe your mom and dad when you're in high school? How was school? It was okay. Okay. What are you going to do now? I'm going over to my friend's house. Okay, see you. I mean, that's not enough conversation. And when you have an elementary kid, you need to read every day. Back to, remember, we were looking at reading level as the tracker. So 5 minutes every day talking to your child or reading to your child. 5 hours of volunteer service to your child every year. I don't care if you're rich or poor, a single parent, there is some way you can serve. Now you're going, oh, I don't know if I can make it to the school. Maybe they can do something at home. Maybe they can bake cookies at home and bring them in. Something where they can contribute to the school. 5 hours of service. You all have service. This is the same notion that I have that parents need to have service to the school. 5 days or more of attendance at school events, going to a play, a football game. You're like, why does it matter? It matters. And you know what's interesting? It matters even if it's not your parent out there, that somebody is out there, that an adult that's watching you. I knew when my parents went to soccer games, I knew the parents who showed up, whether they were, whose friends' parents showed up and whose didn't. I did. I bet you did too. 5 hours or more at school events, plays, parent conferences, spaghetti dinners, whatever it is. $5 or more to the school's PTO. Contribute something. Give something to the parent-teacher organization. And then 5 classes or more of schooling beyond high school. We believe if this is about lifelong learning, creating lifelong learners, you should be learning too. You need to keep taking classes beyond your degree. And if you don't have a high school diploma, and some of our parents don't, then you need to get your GED right now. We encourage you to do it, and we have GED programs available at the schools and some centers in Lynchburg to do it. And part of the whole issue with schools is some people have had very bad experience with schools, or a bad experience right here in schools. How to get them to feel differently about the schooling experience. And one is, if our mission is every child by name and by need to graduation, we need every adult in the community by name and by need to ultimately have a high school diploma. Like I told you before, China, every honor roll kid equals all students here in the United States. We've got to compete. Compete collaboratively. I'm not anybody in here of Chinese descent. I love China, but they want a great life too. And if we want that, we have to work hard and not assume it's just going to be the same standard of living that we've had before. Operations and personnel, I'm not going to spend as much time on. Facilities, technology, finance, nutrition, transportation. Let me tell you about technology, though. You guys are actually one of the role models here at Liberty, and I'm watching what you guys do. We need to move from analog to digital education. Does that mean replace the teacher? No. But we need to start using technology more in education. So, we're visiting 4 school districts, 3 in Virginia, and then 1 in North Carolina that was written up in the Wall Street Journal a few weeks ago, Mooresville, North Carolina, outside of Charlotte, where they went completely digital K-12, and they have the second best achievement results in North Carolina. What are we doing, too? We're putting wireless in every school this year. We've had high schools without wireless. In fact, you were penalized by having your phone or an iPad. We're doing 2 trials this year in AP Government. At both Heritage and Glass, the AP kids are getting an iPad loaded with the electronic textbook and with subscriptions to the Post and to the Economist. And, of course, I saw one student goes, oh, yeah, those are nice, Dr. Brand, but I've got my app for Fox News, CNN. Students are already adding apps to go for where they want to go to get information for the government class. They're loving it. Instead of buying textbooks, it's time to start looking at buying tablets or other devices. In our elementary school, we're going to put Juno tablets, not the iPad. We're trying something else. Why Juno? Why not everybody go iPad? I believe in free enterprise, so what's the advantage? The Juno, you can give the SOL test on. So the student can have it as a tablet, but when it comes test time, the same thing they've been playing on or studying on, playing and interacting, and that's part of the whole idea, that it becomes fun and not staring at a book. They can take the SOL test on. And then we're doing that at one of our schools in 4th and 5th grade, and then at another 2 schools we're buying those mini notebooks. I don't know if you've seen those. Any of you have the mini notebook? It's like a foldable laptop. It's like a mini laptop. I really want to try to go fully digital next year. Part of it is through what we call BYOT, bring your own technology. Lots of our students have that stuff, and the ones that don't, we could supplement at school. I don't have the money to buy every student an iPad, but if every kid brought their iPad or tablet or Kindle Fire, between that and what we could supply, perhaps we could do it. The other's access at home, but Cox Cable here in this area, I think is it Comcast here? I forget. Whichever the local cable is here offers for families with free and reduced lunch $9.99 for internet access at home. So maybe we can find ways to make it happen. I'm convinced we have to move toward more digital education. Not meaning every kid's just going to stare at a screen and that's the rest of life. But it's a part of it. We don't need to carry 6 textbooks around that are already obsolete from the day they're printed, and you're paying $100 a textbook. You all really, we need to go around and look at colleges on this, because I think you all are already to the next level, and that's where I think high schoolers need to go, and middle schoolers, and to a certain degree our elementary kids too. Personnel, we need to make sure we're continuing to attract people here with strong degrees from strong programs, that they're getting professional development, and really track turnover. One of the things too, and I'm just going to say this because I'm just going to say it, one of the things we need to do is continue to attract a diverse group of people to education and have the best of the best. Some educators in Virginia are about to go to Finland. Finland got rated as one of the number one country for education. What's Finland doing? They beat the Chinese. What's Finland doing? You know what Finland's doing? One thing they're doing, one of the biggest things Finland does different, they don't even have tests. They have no national tests. But to be a teacher in Finland, to get in, the admission rate is harder than Harvard Law School. To be a teacher in Finland is so esteemed, is so respected, that you don't grow up wanting to be a doctor or a lawyer. You want to grow up and be a teacher in a Finnish school. And to get in, they only let in a very, very select percentage. And one of the issues here is, are we continuing to get our brightest and strong... Now, ironically, right, this group's a reform group. It was, I think I'm going to get this right, it was Wendy Cope, Wendy from Princeton University, who came up with Teach for America and convinced kids around the country for 2 years with amazing backgrounds and GPAs and diversity to go in some of the hardest schools. And they're incredibly selective. So if they can do that, why can't we look at creating that same sort of culture in America versus teaching is something, oh, you're a teacher. So we really need to look at personnel. The other thing we need to do, 90% of our teaching workforce is white female. I love white people. I'm white, and I love females. But we need all kinds of people in front of our kids. And one of the things is we need to message in our communities, in the Asian community, in the African American community, in the Latino community, that teaching matters, that we need you. And we, even in Lynchburg City Schools, we need to recruit everywhere. Yes, Liberty students are amazing teachers. Lynchburg College students are amazing teachers. Randolph College students are amazing teachers. But we also need to be sure we're going places and trying to get students from all backgrounds to teach our kids. It doesn't mean just because you're a guy, you're a better teacher to guys. I don't believe any of that. But I do believe we need a school system that reflects our students so they can see that it matters to all cultures, not just one group. And that's one of our challenges. I'm not going to go through all the operations. I don't think that's central to your piece, and I don't know when my time is up, but it's coming to a close, I think, with the things I'd want to share, except to tell you it's fun. If you've never thought about education, you've obviously thought about it some, or you want to be a part of this group. It does matter. There's the political arguments and the Michelle Reeves, and I was in Fairfax County around D.C. I watched all of that. All I would say is get to know what's going on in your local schools and see the issues both here at the policy level and at the practical level. Because there are a whole lot of people who talk about education who've not spent time in a classroom. And I am proud to have been a teacher